Hey guys, the first question is from Trek Montgomery. Any tips for what you guys do to appear calm and cool even in weird situations? How do you not undermine yourself by physically appearing uncomfortable with weird facial expressions and such that can be totally subconscious when someone is uncomfortable or nervous? Silly facial expressions stem from the fact that you're uncomfortable and nervous, and the only way to become comfortable and not nervous is by repeatedly putting yourself in a position that makes you feel weird or uncomfortable. And once you do that enough, your brain eventually starts to realize that, oh, this is normal. This is the new reality that I have come to expect. And once your brain accepts that, it stops forcing you to make weird facial tics and weird facial expressions. And I should know this really well because I was the king of odd facial tics and weird expressions and weird hand movements. But after I started to become more comfortable, those just went away on their own. Flocka asks, hey guys, I think I may have a bit of an uptalk problem, but not really due to confidence. I work with a lot of children for a living, mainly ages 5 to 8, so naturally, you don't want to talk to kids in a monotone voice. I tend to raise my voice in more of a fun, gentle way with kids, but doing this for about 25 hours a week, it starts to seep into my normal way of communicating. Usually when talking to women, I'm talking in a confident, semi-dry tone, but I could easily see my voice getting animated at certain parts of the conversation. Will these little slip-ups drastically be hurting my approaches? I think you're kind of misinterpreting what down talk is. You said that down talk was monotone. No, down talk is not a monotone voice. It's simply not making your voice appear needy. And a needy voice goes up at the end, like, hey, how's it going? That's up talk. Instead, you say, hey, how's it going? That's not monotone. You also say that whenever your voice gets animated, you equate that to up talking. Having an animated voice is perfectly fine. It's actually recommended. Being animated does not mean you're up talking. But I do understand what you're saying about talking to children. When you talk to children, you do have to use a little bit of an up talk voice to make them feel comfortable because, well, they're kids. And I guess this could seep into your everyday life, but as long as you consciously keep down talking and keep practicing it, I think you're smart enough to eventually separate the two automatically. Public Masturbation asks, hey Jesse, can you guys upload a video of your most brutal rejections where the interactions go really shitty? Because so far you guys upload every week a successful pickup. I've listened to your rejections podcast, but I think it'll be way more useful for everyone if you guys allocate a video for that. Thanks. We actually have allocated a video for that. It's in month 1 and it's titled Rejections. Check it out. SDM11 asks, hey, I'm going to a big beach party / rave in Thailand next month with my friends as we're graduating high school. Everyone will probably be drunk or on some kind of drug. I'd really like to get laid on this trip. Any ideas on how to approach in this setting? Okay, I'm gonna tell you the trick to get laid when you're on a party vacation spot like Thailand. And this is something that I like to keep to myself because I don't want everyone fucking doing it, but since you guys are on Project Go, I will share this secret with you. And that is, when you go to a vacation spot that has a lot of people partying, a lot of party goers, instead of approaching at night like every other aggressive guy there, approach during the day and invite them out at night. When I was in Thailand a few months ago, this is exactly what the guys and I did. We would meet and approach hot-ass girls during the day and then invite them out at night. And this works so well because most guys, and by most I mean 99.9% of guys in a vacation spot are not approaching girls during the day. They're doing it at night when they're wasted and they're overly aggressive and they're creepy. And girls put up a guard when guys are being drunk and aggressive constantly towards them. So what I figured out was, why not meet these girls during the day when they don't have this guard up and then invite them out at night? And the success ratio of meeting a hot-ass girl during the day at a vacation spot like Thailand and having her come out with you and getting laid is so much higher than if you were to just approach a bunch of girls at night. RX4U asks, hey Jesse, I feel when I use down talk, as stupid as it sounds, it makes me feel serious and I use deadpan humor. This is not my personality at all. I was wondering if down talk is necessary to pick up chicks. Thank you for the videos, it spices up my life. Yes, down talk is 100% necessary. I have yet to meet a guy who implemented down talk into his life and it did not help him, with women and just life in general. You said it sounds weird and you don't like to do it because you use deadpan humor and it doesn't fit with your personality. Well, if you're using deadpan humor in an uptalk voice, that sounds like it would be pretty silly. So I don't think you understand what downtalk is 100%. Watch the video explaining downtalk one more time and try to get a grasp of it. It's not monotone voice, it's not a non-animated voice. It's basically your voice not being needy. That's it. That's all it comes down to. If I were to explain to you what is downtalk, it is you not speaking in a very needy way. Every sentence I've said in this response has been said in a downtalk voice, and it doesn't sound weird. So you're probably not doing it right. The best way to know if you're doing it correctly is to record yourself and then tweak it from there. Recording yourself is the best way to learn. I keep saying this, but there's still some guys out there that aren't doing it. So get a recorder, record yourself, and listen to yourself, and then go from there. I'm gonna condense SP Lover DJ2's question a little bit. Basically, he's from an Indian family, and he doesn't know how to explain to his parents that he does pickup because he goes to the mall and they're like, why do you always go to the mall? And he doesn't like lying to them. So he asks, how do you tell your parents and make them understand what pickup is? All right, first of all, good job for representing brown people properly. There's a lot of Indian guys that are insecure with lots of different things because, well, they're Indian and they just don't feel comfortable being Indian in the United States. It's a really weird phenomenon, but it does happen. So good job on breaking free of that and doing what you really want to do. Now, the reason my parents are accepting towards the fact that I go out and pick up chicks is because I've basically fostered this relationship of honesty with them from about the age of 17 or 18. I'm Indian, and Indian people usually don't have a very open relationship with their parents because that's just not how the culture works. Same goes for Asians. There are exceptions, sure, but I'd say a wide majority of them are not completely open with their parents. It's very important to be respectful. It's important to not speak your mind because speaking your mind equals disrespect. It's a very weird thing and I don't really agree with it. So what I did was, when I was about 18, I sat both my parents down and I had a conversation with them and I told them, I am gonna start being completely honest with you guys and I'm gonna talk to you without a filter, without a censor. And they were kind of surprisingly open to it. They're like, sure, I mean, I don't really understand what you're saying, but we'll see what changes. And what changed was pretty much my entire relationship with my parents. That the dynamic was completely different. I no longer censored my language in front of them. I would talk about girls in front of them. I would talk about hot girls if I saw them in front of my parents. I would start cursing in front of my parents. Now, I want you to keep in mind, I'm not being disrespectful here. I would just say things like, oh, fuck, if I drop something, which is how I would normally react. I would just say, oh, shit. And my parents, this is actually the pivotal moment here. My parents started cursing in front of me. And it was just a fun atmosphere. I was no longer hiding my words and my intentions from my parents. I was just being me. And my parents were being themselves because they started talking openly around me. And I think the pivotal moment here was when, it's gonna sound weird, when we started cursing in front of each other. Because that kind of paved the way for the rest of our dynamic. Because we were down to curse in front of each other, it also meant we were down to be more open and honest about other things. And that led to being more open and honest about other things and bigger things and bigger things. And now, today, we're just extremely open. My parents are not just my parents. They're my really, really good friends. And I love that relationship. And I love it so much more than when I was like being very respectful and, you know, bowing and putting my hands together, just like a cultural Indian person would do. Now, this might not work for everybody, but I know for a fact this completely changed my relationship with my parents for the better. So you could try that. Lifted Gifted asks, hey, where's the link to that 20-minute video about the psychology behind downtalk? Jesse said it's in the description, but as of posting this, it's not. My bad, I completely forgot to put the link in the description of the downtalk video, but it's there now, so go over to the uncut downtalk video, click the link, and it's right there in the description. It's really interesting, so check it out. All right, that's it for today. We've actually implemented a comment system on the Q&A videos now because we figured, hey, people might still have questions after watching us answer the questions. So if you have a question or a comment, just leave it down below. And finally, Simple 30 is about to come out. We are so excited about this because we've been working on this for months and months and months. And I believe this is the best thing we've come out with. This is something that is not only informational, but is practical because you're actually applying the stuff you're learning. Project Go is great because you can see what to do. You know what to do. But with Simple 30, we are telling you what to do and we are making you get out there and take action. And action is the most important thing when it comes to pickup. All right, well, that's all for today. I'll see you next week.